This past year was a very good year in American poetry. As all of us who had a happy excuse to read through the year's new books can testify. As David St. John, Natasha Trethewey, and I kept exclaiming to one another by email as we read for this year's Lenore Marshall Award. We compiled our independent long short lists. We scrupulously prepared our independent short lists. We prepared comments on all the worthy contenders, and then we got on our conference call, and after allowing how worthy many of the books were, we individually confessed that we each had a single book for which we were willing to go to the mat. Happily, that turned out to be the same book in each case. David Wojahn's World Tree is his 8th collection of poetry, and it is a book of consummate vision and artistry. It is capacious in every sense. It is large in its imagination, and its imagination includes a very deep and precise historical engagement. It is large in its technical and formal range, and very accomplished indeed formally. It is large in its affective range as well. It's capable of fierce anger, and not merely personal anger, but anger on behalf of this savaged earth, and capable of great tenderness as well. Exquisitely cadenced, politically astute, large of heart and keen of mind, the poems in this book are extraordinary, above all, for their moral penetration. They're also a joy to read. It's my deep honor to present David Wojahn, and I seem to be the only one of the presenters who agreed to do this part, to present him with a monetary token of the Academy's esteem. David.
Those are very humbling remarks, Linda. Thank you. Thank you immensely. And thanks also to the judges for the prize, Natasha Trethewey and David St. John, who are also poets I immensely respect and hold in the highest regard. A number of years ago, when I published my previous book, I remember very distinctly getting an email from the Academy saying, "Good news from the Academy of American Poets." And I found out I was the runner-up for the Lenore Marshall Prize. So when I opened my email a couple of months ago and saw an email from the Academy saying, "Good news from the Academy," I had thought, well, wow, I'm a runner-up again. That's really good news, but this is better news, so thank you so much. I also want to thank my publisher, the University of Pittsburgh Press, which has issued my books now, 7 of them, for over 25 years, and that sort of loyalty from a press to a poet is almost unheard of these days. And I'm very, very grateful to my publisher, Ed Ochester, my editor, and to my wife, Noel Watson. I owe the greatest debt of all. This poem's got some mythology in it. It happens to be the mythology of how you prevent your tomatoes from being eaten by squirrels and raccoons. And it's, you know, the tomes and the lore about that could fill many, many volumes. And a lot of the antidotes for the tomatoes tend to be, to keeping the tomatoes safe, tend to be pretty bizarre. Irish Spring soap, marigolds, eggshells, and human hair. So that's in the poem. You'll also hear me doing a not very credible imitation of David Byrne in a few places. Poem's called Talismanic. The boy's hair voodoos the tomato stalks. We have swept it from the kitchen floor after haircuts, and straw-colored its spirals from the garden soil, already half buried, like tablets etched with linear B, untranslatable among eggshells and soap flakes. I kneel and watch it rain upon the diligent grubs, beetles, and the zigzagging caravans of ants. The stalks nod with unripe big boys, calypsos, green marbles of cherries in clusters. Human hair, marigolds, Irish spring I flake with a cheese grater in a talismanic circle, charms against squirrel and raccoon. High summer, high 90s, and the boys run tonsured through the sprinkler spray. The sound as it revolves, a quirky but robotic staccato, like the voice of David Byrne cackling once in a lifetime. You may ask yourself, how do I work this? They will lay waste to the fruits of your labors. Useless are all your spells. For now the wind is rising, a thick, cheap scent over everything, scent the color of key lime pie, scent the color of my father, 20 years dead and stepping from the shower stall, taking in the steam in deep self-conscious breaths, his own futile talisman against emphysema, angina, Jim Beam. Soap lather beards his face. You may ask yourself, how did I get here? He is ash in a canister in the Veterans Cemetery in St. Paul, and his DNA helixes up the pale outline of Jake's spine, glinting now in the sprinkler's jittery rainbows. Let the water hold me down. Back and forth they pace the sprinkler's cage. They squeal and turn to me in their delight. Same as it ever was, same as it ever was. And the breeze pulls the spray toward me until I am mist as well. Lord, abide this instant back to them when I am ash, though I kneel absurdly with a cheese grater, knee pads, and a flint head of soap. Same as it ever was, same as it ever was. Sundown, mosquitoes tuning up, a glint of fireflies slathering the Adirondack chairs. My knees scrape eggshell, beflowered with dead-headed marigolds, and the tufts of hair billow up from the dirt to my face. Thank you.